So yeah, as I was mouthing to any of you that happened to read lips, um, I totally agree with the Sylvanas, but yet again, fourth game in a row, Zag has been able to somehow slip their way through. Um, no words can be heard this day. Nice. So yeah, Falstad is going to be the pickup, which I really love Falstad on this map. His global presence, being able to fly around the map and be able to clean up any lanes that need cleaning up, but still being able to make quick rotations to those immortal fights is really good. But Zagara is definitely got to be the story of the day, of the last couple days. Zagara 3-0 in matches that I personally casted, and teams keep just letting her through. I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing something. But yes, thank you very much. I'm glad to be back. I like not having the mic muted as well. But Air Muradin and Ground Muradin have been picked up for the side of Left Coast. Doing a really good job prioritizing the beards, so to speak. But unfortunately, they've let Zagara through, so I'm afraid that right off the bat, they might be a little bit on the back heel. But we'll have to see what they decide to pick up here. By the way, PVT Joy, thank you very much for the follow. Not very good at doing those follow things while I'm casting, because I usually am focusing on the games, but I got one. I got one. Ariel and Artanis are going to be the pickup for Wedge of Destiny. We'll have to see how the Ariel pickup is gonna rotate around the rest of their comp. You really like to have a burst damage dealer to be able to pair with Ariel. So we'll have to see if later on they prioritize maybe a Li-Ming or some other kind of big burst damage dealer to be able to empower that with. But for now, you know, they've got... Artanis is a very interesting pickup. But he's very good on this map, being able to get a lot of that extra damage out from that first talent. I want to say that's amateur opponent. I'm not quite an Artanis expert. Ice Fox will be rolling over if he were dead right now, he'd be rolling over in his grave if I got that wrong. But luckily he's still with us, so don't have to worry about that. But Artanis is very good on this map in terms of being able to be that front line tank, but also being able to get a lot of damage out on these Immortals. So a very good pickup there. ETC is going to be the ban for the side of Left Coast, as they've already got Muradin, so they decide to get that tank chokehold applied. Tychus will be the ban out for Wedge of Destiny. Kind of tells me they probably want to go double front line, so they don't want the Tychus to be able to really counter that. So that's probably a pretty smart move there for the side of Wedge of Destiny. Greymane will be the pickup for Left Coast. Greymane's a very good pickup on this map, able to get a ton of damage out on those Immortals. He's just invaluable for the map objective pickups here. But Left Coast going deep into their time pool here, trying to figure out exactly who they want to get here. Li-Ming will be the pickup, so all of a sudden they've gone with this reset team. Both Li-Ming and Greymane are very, very good at capturing the Immortals, so I really like the damage out. Oh, Cho'Gall! Holy cow, here we go. Here we go, boys. I said there was foreshadowing. I didn't realize there was going to be that much foreshadowing. But Wedge of Destiny is putting it all out on the table here right in week one. They are not saving this one for the playoffs. Then that is going to be the pairing they're going to try to do with Oriole. That makes me think that they might maybe be going Resurrection, just say. I mean, the nice thing about an Oriole pairing with Cho'Gall is either of those two ults can get absolutely massive amounts of value. But awesome. We're going to get to see a Cho'Gall match. Brightwing, a very strong pickup for the side of Left Coast. With that polymorph, able to really, really put a hamper on what Cho'Gall is able to do. Basically getting 2 polymorphs for the price of 1 all game long. Lots of global presence. You know, as much as I love seeing Cho'Gall here in Chair League, if I was going leaning one way or the other, I'd have to be leaning left I guess technically I'm leaning right towards the left, but leaning towards left coast. I really, really like their draft for the map specifically. I feel like they've got the damage to be able to get these immortals, and they've got the tools they need to be able to deal with Cho'Gall in general. The burst damage to be able to take him down between Falstad, Greymane, and Li Ming. But we'll have to see if Cho'Gall and Artanis can get in and get some of these squishies down, you know, other than Muradin. If you can just get past Muradin, there is a very ooey gooey center portion of their team that they'll be able to try and get to. But Oriole and Cho'Gall can be a very deadly combo. I've seen it seen it in my nightmares from playing in Hero League several times. But every time I see it come up on the enemy team, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be terrible. This is gonna hurt. And then every time it comes up on my team, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be terrible. These guys aren't gonna be able to pull this off. So we'll see which one of those it is. I've been right most of the time in those scenarios, but Cho'Gall can do a lot of good things on this map as well. Oop. All right, we are ready to go here for Wedge of Destiny versus Left Coast on Battlefield of Eternity, and we are going to go ahead and get loading in to Battlefield of Eternity. Introducing first on the left, Wedge of Destiny, Dargmok on Ariel, Cardiff on Cho with Southern Gamer on Gaul, Dark Keisner on Artanis, or sorry, Dark Zero G. I don't know what I was reading there. That's weird. On Artanis, Wang Dangler, nice on Zagara. Meanwhile, on the right side of the screen, we see Left Coast with Jovar on Muradin, Tuesday on Greymane, Nay on Li Ming, CT Wizzle on Brightwing, and 7 on Falstad. I like that. The threes, the whole... Yeah, nice. So I do think this match is going to come down to how well we can see the coordinated assaults from the side of Left Coast on whether or not they can really focus down that Cho'Gall. But ultimately, I'm not sure. We'll have to see if the burst damage that comes out of them can overpower Ariel's healing, and the fact that Ariel and Cho'Gall are probably going to be best friends this whole match, just kind of going back and forth with each other. But we'll see. It should be interesting. It's always interesting to see, like I said, it's always interesting to see some of the comps that come out of Division 3. And here we are, Cho'Gall, they're laying it all out on the table.
3, 2, 1.
So it does look like they're going to go ahead and send Zagara to the top. Muradin is going to be the response up on the top lane for the side of Left Coast. Meanwhile, both teams just kind of splitting up, and of course Cho'Gall able to get a lot of that early cheese if he so decides to apply it. Tuesday taking a lot of harass. The swap is going to come out onto Greymane there. Tuesday getting very, very low. Brightwing's going to go ahead and have to phase shift in to get him healed up, but ultimately he will be able to walk out of that situation. But the early aggression coming out here from the side of Wedge of Destiny, but Artanis taking a lot of heat there from the burst damage potential. All three burst damage dealers plus Brightwing and a huge orb coming in there from Nay to be able to give that Artanis even more to have to worry about. And right now, so far here at level 1, Ariel is not able to... Oh! And the Brightwing able to get the polymorph out there. CT Wizzle hitting a huge mid-swap polymorph to be able to give his team the opportunity to be able to get that burst damage out there. First blood going over to Left Coast. And right off the bat, they are showing an extreme ability to coordinate their assault, getting a ton of poke damage down on Cho'Gall, quickly getting him below half health, and Ariel still having that hard time here early in the game, dealing with that healing potential. I feel like that full bar heal just doesn't do a whole lot on Cho'Gall's health bar. I feel like he's going to be living the dangerous life under 50% a lot of this match, but we will see the Immortals are spawning. Looks like we're going to see just a slight rotational advantage here for the side of Left Coast as they do go ahead and rotate, and they also get the RNG gods on their side as we see their Immortal to attack spawning on the bottom here, the blue Immortal. But we are going to see Cho'Gall and friends deciding to go ahead and try and get the defense out right away. The swap comes out on Tuesday getting a lot of damage on him. We're actually going to see them start to attack. They're going to continue to defend here, but the poke damage is real. 4 pretty decent poke damage dealers here, able to poke this thing down. It's almost half health already, and so far only Zagara dealing damage, just a little bit of damage here on the top immortal for the side of Wedge of Destiny, but they do go ahead and send Zagara up. She's getting a little bit of work done. Actually, a pretty impressive amount. That now that we look at this mortal's health just slowly falling, but advantage is still on the side of Left Coast. They're trying to get just a little bit of poke out to be able to phase this. Ultimately, they're going to elect to go ahead and be it to be able to try and get their health back. But now Zagara is going to go ahead and back out and continue pushing down that creep. And just a little bit of a lead here so far, but a huge collapse here in the mid. Tuesday very, very low here on Greymane, trying to get in there after Cho'Gall, and right away they're going to spawn on the opposite sides of the map here. So giving both teams the opportunity to try and go through each other to get to these right away. Jovar getting very, very low here on Muradin, and the poke damage is going to come out from Gall. That is going to be one dead Muradin. First kill of the game for the side of Wedge of Destiny. And another one's going to be picked up there on Greymane, diving in, trying to get some extra damage on that Immortal. Did not pay off, as he is going to end up going down here, getting a little bit, just getting just a little bit too aggressive over there. But right away, we do see Li Ming getting a decent amount of damage out here, but a nice defense being maintained there from Wedge of Destiny. They are going to get the first Immortal of the game. Falstad is going to go down. Gall is just out poking this poke comp from left coast, and the healing, the incredible sustain is paying off from Oriel. There has been able to keep up Cho'Gall this whole time, and just a really great job. These guys were able to maintain. They were able to defend. Usually the name of the game here on Battlefield of Eternity is not to play the defense game right off the bat. Most teams tend to just go straight offense, straight attack. But very interesting there. It paid off as they were able to use that Cho'Gall and that incredible health pool to be able to keep them up. Meanwhile, we do see a decent push in to be able to get through that front wall for the side of Wedge of Destiny. They are going to get a little bit of an XP advantage off of that, but they're going to end up having to back out of this situation. Meanwhile, pretty even exchange in the bottom lane. Greymane and Zagara just kind of went toe-to-toe. But look out! Here comes the huge rotation here from Wedge of Destiny, and a nice whip there from Dargok on Ariel, able to displace him enough to be able to take him out easy. And all of a sudden, we're going to see them getting a little bit of extra damage on that wall from the minion wave. They're going to immediately rotate down and get that bottom Merc camp as well. Meanwhile, a good response here from the side of Left Coast, as they are going to get some extra damage there on the front wall of this top lane. But with after capturing that top Merc camp. Both teams, though, right now not being too overly aggressive. A nice rotation here from Cho'Gall and Ariel. We're going to see them go ahead and get in here to interrupt this and to push back Jovar at the very least. Nice response, though, trying to get a little bit of damage out, but the healing throughput of Ariel has been pretty nice in the later part of the recent part of this game. Not very strong at level 1, but she's really hit some nice damage, or some nice healing spikes here. Damage as well. I mean, you can see the whip talents coming out early here to be able to get the extra range and the extra radius. Plus, you know, as Cho'Gall progresses and he's able to get out more damage, that's never going to hurt the energy regeneration here from Ariel. So here we go. They're going to have to go toe-to-toe here to be able to get through each other for these Immortals. Artanis getting caught a little bit out there. He's going to take a lot of harass, but not nearly as much as we're seeing from Tuesday. Greymane just getting poked way, way down. Jovar getting low. And all of a sudden, we see Left Coast on the run here. Jovar's going to turn around and throw that hammer to be able to slow them down just a little bit. But ultimately, we do see Wedge of Destiny is winning this push of war back and forth. Jovar going back in, getting some harass done. A nice swap there by Artanis to try and displace, but ultimately he's going to get caught up in the stun and deleted in the middle of the team. Kind of a little bit of a misplay there, deciding to try to swap and then go back in with the dash. Gets caught out here, but we will see Brightwing is going to go ahead and get that mana. We'll be able to come right back in with that phase shift. And now they're going to try and start pushing back here in the eternal battle here in the mid that we often see on Battlefield of Eternity. Falstad getting very, very low there. Seven is going to have to back out of that situation, but a nice taunt in there from Cho'Gall. They went a little bit too deep. Greymane getting caught out, and in a similar fashion as on the other side of the map, we see one of the members going in a little bit too deep, and the Immortal getting in it, being able to take them down. Falstad will go ahead and fly back in, but Artanis not afraid to put out a little bit of damage there, and Cho'Gall living the dangerous life, constantly. I think it's been under half more often than he's been over half health, but he's fine with that. He'll go ahead and dash out just in time to get away from that stun from the Immortal. Both teams switching back and forth. The Brightwing gets to a little bit too low, caught out a little bit too far. Artanis and Zagara are able to clean that out, but the return kill on Artanis, it's a 1-for-1 so far as the battle rages on. The never-ending battle here in the mid as these teams try and push each other back and forth and back. My goodness, and it's still going on. Cho'Gall, I'm still telling you, I think he's living in the 30%. That's where Cho'Gall likes to be, apparently. So many members so low, though, for Left Coast, and Cho'Gall will finally be taken down. The Tyrant is down, but look at what cost. Look at the health bars. Brightwing is just not able to keep their members up enough to be able to take advantage here. A little bit of poke's going to come out from Li Ming, but ultimately the advantage is on the side of Left Coast so far in this never-ending phase. Neither team also, by the way, ever bothered to pick up their shaman camps. So, I don't know. During that entire fight, would have been nice to have one pushing. Zagara's going to get a little bit caught out here on the top, but ultimately not able to do a whole lot with that. Meanwhile, in the mid, the battle rages on. Tuesday, yet again, getting poked down very, very low on Greymane. Just having a rough game here in terms of trying to jump in. Not able to do as much poke as he'd like to from the distance. And Cho'Gall this time coming back in very, very healthy. After dying, now he no longer has to live in that below 50%. And he is being a terror. A nice whip there to be able to get the stun out on 7, but not a whole lot of follow-up to it. Here comes the ults, though. Both teams have picked up level 10 pretty much at the same time. And we're going to see the pull-in is actually going to hit Tuesday, but over the wall, able to save him. But Zagara is on the chase, trying to get that kill. The Maw will completely whiff, trying to get after him. However, they do get Brightwing. It's going to give them a positional advantage here to be able to push this to the 50% mark. That might have been the longest first half to an Immortal phase I have ever seen. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we made it, guys. Now, we don't have to fight through each other to be able to get this down. But we are seeing Wedge of Destiny taking a huge advantage on this so far. The poke trying to come out from Li Ming, but nice dodge there from Artanis, being able to get out of the way. We do see the orb build coming out from Li Ming, so she's looking to hit hits from way downtown the whole rest of this game. But ultimately, we do see Wedge of Destiny picking up their second Immortal in a row. Very nice patience from them. You know, they really went the full distance for that. Both teams suffering a little bit of lane damage in the meantime, but ultimately nothing that either team can't recover from at this point. Still anybody's game, but this could be a turning moment here as we see Artanis down here with Cho'Gall and Ariel, with just Zagara up in the top. Falstad and Greymane are gonna get the kill there on Zagara. That's a huge boost for them. Zagara can always fly down, but Resurrection was the pickup for the side of Ariel. We are going to see the ult coming out from Gall, dealing a ton of damage out to Brightwing. Emerald Wind comes out to try and push them back, but the fort is going to go down. Falstad trying to flank from the outside. Gust was available, but will elect not to use it with the Immortal still up. The front wall is under a lot of trouble here, too. Li Ming doing all she can to poke from a distance to be able to put some harass out here, but not able to get enough to get a kill at this point. Nobody really all that low. We are going to see Artanis going ahead and throwing out the blind to try and deter the members of Left Coast from chasing. that is going to be the case. They are going to get that done. However, we do see still Zagara back here, now able to push Greymane off of this, but Greymane's going to go ahead and go pick up the top. These teams are just going to trade the, looks like at this point they're going to trade, but Zagara still could have the option of trying to come in here. She's definitely thinking about it, coming in here, but just scouting out there on that top lane. It does look like Greymane's going to be able to get that unimposed, but they're going to coordinate nicely those top two Merc camps, so they're going to be able to push those together, and complete whiff from Cho there. Not able to catch 7 out on that pull-in, but still a ton of damage coming out on Tuesday. He is going to go down here. A nice return of damage coming out, though, onto Ariel, but she's going to be able to escape that situation. It looks like it's just going to end up being a 1-for-nothing net trade now, but we do have Li Ming Nei coming in here trying to get some damage out. Artanis is going to make a nice response, pushing down against that flank. And at this point, both teams just scrapping it out here in the top lane. Jovar getting very, very low on Muradin. Will have to dwarf toss away, as we do see that Shaman camp is going to be, both of those camps are going to be cleaned up. A very nice defense there. They were able to not only get a kill, being able to take out one of the members there from left coast, but also doing a very fantastic job of cleaning up those camps while their camp was pushing in the bottom and getting value. So very, very nice play from Wedge of Destiny. Now they're going to go ahead and go pick up their Shaman camp as this phase starts to be able to have it pushing during what could end up being another really long stay in the mid. But here we go. You know, both teams decided to trade out the early advantage being gained from the side of left coast, and they are actually going to end up getting a huge advantage there. 10k advantage. But the pull-in will hit 2 members. Tuesday a little bit displaced deep into the team, and he is going to end up getting blown up. All of the abilities coming out. Emerald Wind will not be enough to be able to save Brightwing. He is going to go down. Jovar getting in a lot of trouble. That swap going in. They get a ton of damage out on Zagara, but it is not going to be enough. Li Ming trying to escape, trying to juke, but is going to be taken down. That is going to be a 4-for-nothing. And all of a sudden, Wedge of Destiny with a huge response, not only winning the team fight in the mid, but capturing that Shaman camp in the bottom is going to get a lot of value. Falstad is going to have no other option than to respond to this, but this is going to earn the 3rd Immortal in a row going over to Wedge of Destiny. A very, very impressive display of fortitude, them being able to win it when it counts in those mid fights, and that one was a very decisive win. That was not one of those long drag out fights. They've proven that they can win it both ways at this point. So we will see the Immortal going up to the top lane. Bottom lane completely wrecked by that last Immortal phase. Everything other than the keep taken down there, but we will see Zagara split pushing. Greymane is going to be the one in the bottom trying to push away. The pull-in will hit Jovar, and a nice whip up against that fort that had already been taken out. Does still work as a wall to be able to whip into, though, from Ariel. Darkmok doing a great job of being able to take advantage of that ability, keeping the team very healthy here. Li Ming getting very low, and is going to be picked off there in the middle of the team fight. Displaced a little bit too far out there, but 3 members only left now to defend against this Immortal. Still very healthy with over half its health still as it gets to the keep. It's going to start whacking on that thing, and we're going to see Jovar getting in deep. Is going to have to dwarf toss out yet again, trying to get as much disruption as it can, but it's not going to be enough. The keep is going to go down, and at this point, Wedge of Destiny has got what they came for. They are out of here. Good to know, Ice Fox. Good to know. And we will see a nice rotation here. Very aggressive rotation. The response is going to come out here. All 5 members of Left Coast are in here. The blind is going to come out from Artanis, trying to deter, but the push-in is actually going to put them in a position to be able to surround them, but a nice response to go after Tuesday here. Gall is going to get the job done going after him and pick up Jovar on the way out. And all of a sudden, CT Whizzle is in trouble here on Brightwing as well. A lot of damage coming out from Cho'Gall and that ultimate. A nice response there. A lot of that was actually Wang Dangler there on Zagara, hitting a huge maw on the displaced members. I was a little bit worried that pull-in was actually going to be a real problem for the side of Wedge of Destiny when they got pulled into a position where they could have taken a lot of the members down, but Dargok did a great job on Ariel of keeping the team up just long enough for Zagara to hit that Maw and be able to keep them alive. Very impressive yet again. Going in a little bit too deep, making a couple little mistakes, but getting themselves out of that. And getting some extra damage and pressure on that bottom keep. At this point, it's kind of Wedge of Destiny's games to lose, but after picking up 16 here, we are going to see Left Coast having one last chance in this Immortal phase, being able to make something happen. They have to clean up this top camp. They're going to go ahead and pick up theirs, but here comes the invasion. Cho'Gall is going to come in on this, but is not going to quite be able to get in there to pick it off, but they are going to take out Greymane in return, and there is no way they are going to be able to win this team fight at this point. They need to back out of here. 7 very, very low. The chase is on, and he is going to get completely deleted. And this could be the beginning of the end for Left Coast, as Jovar does Dwarf Toss his way out. But at this point, 2 members down with these long death timers. But they are going to end up actually backing out of here. The nice spawn for Wedge of Destiny over on Left Coast side. All they have to do is just back out just a tiny bit to be able to fix that up. They also took out the Shaman camp while they were doing that invasion gank attempt to be able to take out 2 members. And just another beautiful response there. A nice, the invasion attempt was unsuccessful, but they ended up getting those picks that they really needed to get an advantage here. We will see the... oh, they're going to rotate away. Very nice. Didn't need to fight there. Didn't need to be overly aggressive or get caught out in a rotation. But now they've regrouped. Now they're ready. Here comes the Emerald Wind to try and separate, but it's not going to do a whole lot. Artanis is going to throw down that blind to be able to really affect Greymane. But the team fight is all over the place this time around. Brightwing is actually going to be the first one to fall there to Cho'Gall. And yet again, Polymorph not quite enough to be able to deter the big monster. Muradin will go down, and must not have had Dwarf Toss available there, as yet again, Wedge of Destiny winning a fight, not only in convincing fashion, but also fighting on the opponent's Immortal to be able to get all that incidental damage out, to be able to pick it up. And this is going to be a nearly full shield Immortal. I don't think that Left Coast is going to be able to defend against this. They are going to have 20 for this push-in attempt. We do see 7 and Tuesday trying to get a little bit of extra damage out, but as soon as this minion wave goes down, there it is. There is level 20 for the side of Wedge of Destiny. Meanwhile, the Immortal is slowly marching his way down this bottom lane toward the core, and nothing in the way other than that lone cannon tower. The pull-in is going to hit, and 7 is going to take a lot of damage from that, but a decent response here in terms of damage. Everybody throwing everything out. Brightwing gets completely deleted there. And that is definitely going to be the Immortal is slapping this, well, a nice gust there to attempt to stall, but ultimately the Immortal is going to take this down all by himself. Muradin will go down, Greymane goes down, and that is going to be it. The GGs are called. Wedge of Destiny winning it all here on Battlefield of Eternity.
Blue team is victorious.
So yeah, very, very nice match there. Very good combo in Cho'Gall versus Ariel. I didn't give it the credit that it deserved. That Ariel got a ton of healing out. You look at the numbers, 105k versus 72k from Brightwing from CTW, and that's where they won. You know, they won the early game in that first long Immortal phase from being able to out-sustain their opponents. They did a very nice job of being able to get those done, and then when it counted, they would just focus on Brightwing to win the quick and easy team fights later on in the game. And Ariel just had a lot more of a front line to be able to hide behind. Greymane would get in there and just get super low, and Brightwing is just not that kind of healer. It can't heal versus the burst damage that Gall was able to put out. Gall and Zagara and Artanis were just able to rip Greymane apart in the inner parts of those team fights. So a very, very nice game coming out from Wedge of Destiny, pulling out the Cho'Gall and it paying off big time in a big, big way for them. Very happy to see when these odd comps totally work out exactly how you want it. And thank you to both of these teams for putting on a great show for us. It was definitely a fun match to watch. And I look forward to seeing these two teams play again in the future very, very soon. Season 3 is here, guys. It's going to be a shorter season, but it's going to be an even funner season than we've seen before. Especially with the cheering thing. I love the cheering feature on Chair League. You guys can watch these matches and get that done, but get the cheerings out. But thank you very much for joining me, guys. It's been a pleasure to cast for you guys tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to be casting tomorrow night. If I do end up having time, I will sign up for a couple matches in the last minute if I can, but I'll definitely be back on Thursday and casting for Chair League on Thursday. So, if you guys want to check out more Chair League later in the week, go ahead and hit the follow button. Not only am I doing a lot of casting for Chair League, but I also do what I can to try and host other casters to give you guys a little bit of a window into whoever else might be casting. Also doing a lot more streaming of Heroes of the Storm lately, which I'm going to actually just flip over the stream real quick, shut it off to cut off the VOD, and then go right back on for some Hero League. So if you guys want to stick around, I'd be more than happy to get some tips and tricks of the trade from you guys when I'm playing. But thank you very much for joining me, guys, and I'll be back in just a few.